right, guys, I'm taking over your computers. Be ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and blast off. All right, so you guys have your worksheet in front of you. Let's see. So, technology includes the new products and systems that are developed to solve. Did we do the first pages 1 and 2? All right, so we went over that. We took notes on that. Okay, good. All right, so we found out what technology and science is. We went over information technology, and now we're going to learn what communication technology is. Will and Drew, did you have those? Yeah. All right, come here and take the mic. Wait, you guys, as they're explaining it, you guys are going to write it down on your worksheets. So we are on this one right here. Yeah, just read off the slide.
The definition of communication technology is the process of giving or exchanging information, sending signals around the world. Examples is ChatGPT, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, television, the internet, GPS, and cell phones.
Good, so make sure you guys have 3 examples on there. So check out your worksheet. You should have the definition in the corner, and then you should have 3 examples of your choice. Just pick any 3 that you want. Anything that's gonna give or exchange information. Alright, does everyone have the examples on there?
No.
Gives or exchanges info. So back then, they used to have pigeons. Pigeons used to go around and send messages to other cities. My dad said that they had pigeons up on the rooftop of his their apartment, and they used to send little messages. They tie it around their little legs, and then they go to the same place, and then the person there gets the message. So you exchange messages through pigeons. If you Google it, it's like a whole thing. All right, pros and cons.
Positive impacts are you can stay in touch faster and cheaper. And then for negative, like it's like cyberbullying. Hacking and
Pirating, yeah. Pirating is like when you take a movie and you say it's yours, you copy it, and you sell it to people, and you don't pay for the movie. That's piracy. It used to be big back then. People used to like make copies of DVDs and then sell them on the market and make money off of other people's. Yeah, it's sort of like copywriting, but for
yeah.
yeah. And hacking, we all know what hacking is. You go in, take people's money online. Yeah. Back then, people used to just bully people by taking their lunch money, and now people bully people online and take their stuff online and all that stuff. All right, good job, boys. Round of applause. Thank you. So you guys learned about communication technology. Back then, it cost money to call your grandma who lived 3 hours away. It was long distance, so my grandmother lived three hours north, and I had to like hurry up and talk to her because it was so much money every minute. Now we just pay a lot with our cell phones, and we pay a lot more with cell phones, but at least long distance isn't a separate charge, if that makes sense. It's a lot cheaper to communicate nowadays with all the stuff that we have. A lot faster to communicate. All right, so we've come a long way. Okay, everyone has that done, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, who in biotechnology? Come up and get the mic.
Biotechnology.
Biotechnology. Oh, look at that.
Is that a rat mixed with an ear?
All right, biotechnology is actually really cool. All right, go ahead.
The definition of biotechnology is
transforms living things into products or new forms of life.
Good. So it takes living things and makes new things. All right.
Some examples are bionics, genetic engineering, and cloning.
All right. So let's speak about that. Velcro. You know Velcro?
Mm-hmm.
You guys have it on your jackets or whatever. They got the idea, well, they took the living thing of the plant, the burrs. You know those burrs that are out in the forest? Those sticky things that stick to your pants? All right, so they took a living organism such as burrs and they turned it into Velcro for us. And then genetic engineering, they can now take the chromosomes from a mom and the chromosomes from a dad, and they can actually make, like you can choose what gender child you would have. All right, so you go to the doctor, you give them about $10,000-$20,000, and then they inseminate and make sure that it's like 90% that you'll have a boy or a girl or whatever. And then cloning, same concept for cloning. Just show you guys Dolly the sheep. All right, so Dolly the sheep. I was 16 years old when this happened.
Oh.
So Dolly the sheep was cloned in 1996, and basically cloning is taking DNA from one mammal, all right, so from one animal, putting it all together in a petri dish, and then making a little baby mammal. So that's Dolly the sheep.
Teachers, bus 76 is just coming in. Please excuse those students. Bus 76 is coming in. Just excuse those students.
All right, so it'd sort of be like you having a little mini you. Okay, so they would look like you, not necessarily act like you, but they would definitely look like your mini me. All right, so that is, where did they go? That's cloning. All right, and then vaccinations are actually living cells, living things, living vaccinations that they put in you so that you don't get that disease, like chicken pox. When I was younger, we all had chicken pox, or like these little scratchy things, like mosquito bites, like thousands of mosquito bites on your body. So I had it, my friends all had it. Now there's a vaccine that they give you when you're little so that you guys don't get chicken pox and measles and mumps and rubella and all these horrible diseases that were back then. All right, pros and cons of biotechnology. Go ahead.
Some pros and cons. Some positive impacts are cheaper to communicate. Improves quality of life, more choices, and saves lives.
Good. So because of biotechnology, we have these vaccines that can save your life. And then what are the negative ones?
Some negative impacts are side effects of medications, genetic defects, and too many people.
Good. So you guys ever hear those commercials? Try this drug. Side effects may be diarrhea and this and that and blah 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 blah. Yeah. All right, and then genetic defects. Sometimes they try things and then you grow a tail or something. I don't know. I'm just kidding. And then if we have too many people, like China did. So when we had the Chinese program here, for 20 years, parents could only have one child. They passed a law because there's so many people in China. There's like millions and millions of people. They're running out of resources, so they made it a law that only families could have one child. Do you imagine that? So when you guys get older and you plan on having a family, and they're like, oh, nope, you can only have one kid. That's it. You're not allowed to have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. All right, so they uplifted that law a few years ago, so now they can have more than one child, but for 20 years, families can only have one child because there was a population problem. All right, good job, boys. All right, so you guys learned about biotechnology, just like this little rat growing an ear. So imagine if you didn't have an ear. So this rat grows an ear for you, and then they cut it off and they sew it on you.
Ooh.
You guys say ew, but what if you didn't have an ear?
Why would you want rat skin though?
I don't know. It's like getting a wart cut off your hand. It's fine. You're fine. Rat's fine. Although a lot of rats do die in all these medication things. But would you rather be at a rat that they test or your family member?
Family member. I don't want rat skin.
I don't know. They did talk about people in jail. They could test it on criminals. I don't know.
Excuse me?
They gotta test it on something.
Test it on themselves. Exactly.
They're trying to help other people.
Yeah, help themselves.
All right, agricultural technology. Who had that one?
All right, let's learn about agricultural. Guys, start writing these down. You're gonna need it for the quiz. You need it for the quiz. Write this down. Write it down.
Agricultural technology means it produces plants and animals for food, fiber, and fuel.
What would we do without agriculture? That's how we get all our food. And nobody else is. Do you guys all have gardens in your backyard, and you guys have animals in your backyard that you kill and eat their hamburgers and hot dogs and chickens? Are you guys plucking the chickens and doing all that? I know I'm not. So, because of that, other people have to do it, and that's agricultural technology that's making plants and animal stuff for us so that we can eat. All right, examples.
Irrigation
That's irrigation systems.
Food preservation.
Yeah,
and
preservative.
weed and insect control.
Very good. All right, so back then, people would have droughts. If it didn't rain, your crops wouldn't grow, and then you'd starve. All right, so that's not good. So because of agricultural technology, such as this irrigation system, that's like a big sprinkler system, now it gives us a bunch of food, so we can go to Meijer and get our broccoli and our asparagus and our carrots and our candy. And then food preservatives are the preservatives they put in the food to make it last longer. So can you grow bananas in Michigan? No, it's not hot enough here, so they put some preservatives in it so that it doesn't get black and moldy by the time it hits Michigan. All right, so think of those bananas. They start off in Florida, and they got to transport all the way here to Michigan. And then weed and insect control. Back then, all the insects would eat your food. It happened to me in my garden. I went out there and tried to get a tomato, and then the tomato was eaten by either a deer or insects. And I'm like, what the heck? Good thing I can go to Meijer and get my tomato. All right, any questions on those two? All right, pros and cons. Here we go.
A pro is more food
Less bugs.
and healthier choices.
Nice.
And a con is pollution
Side effects for people.
and more junk food.
All right, so your grandparents. Like my mom, which is probably like your grandparents, she remembers when Burger King came out with the first Whopper. She said it was the biggest sandwich she ever saw. So back then, nobody went to fast food restaurants. They really didn't exist that much. So when fast food restaurants first came out, that was a big deal. So you had all of these options. However, a lot of it is junk and it's not really healthy for you. So yeah, you have pros, we have a lot of more food, however, it's not always the best food, a lot of junk food now. We have all this different options, there's so much sugar in it. So sugar isn't good for you, but everyone's putting sugar in all their food. All right, good job, girls. Thank you.
All right, we learned about agricultural. Are we done with that page now? Oh, we did information technology yesterday, didn't we? Information technology is gathering and storing data. Gathering and storing data. Okay. All right, next page is medical. All right, if it wasn't for medical, half of us probably wouldn't be here. All right, so little babies.
What's going on? Or if you broke a bone.
The definition is creates tools to treat diseases and injuries. Examples are x-rays, lasers, ultrasounds, medications, and prostheses.
Yeah, it's like prosthetic legs. If you lost your leg, you get a prosthetic leg. And then nowadays, they can see inside to see if the baby's okay. So those are nice, having x-rays, or you can, ultrasound is actually what it's called. Ultrasounds, you can see what's going on. Back then, could you imagine if you had a stomach ache and they didn't know what it was? They didn't have x-rays and ultrasound, so they would just cut you open. Do you imagine going to the doctor? I have a stomach ache. All right, we're gonna cut you open and see why.
No
Ugh.
thanks.
Mm.
I wouldn't tell them.
Do they have heart transplants?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can get a heart transplant. If somebody passes away, let's say they got in a car accident and they, they're brain dead, their organs still work. So then your organs get transported into another body, which needs like a new heart. Let's say you have heart failure, especially people who are getting older. They take a new heart and they put it in. Back then, when they had their first heart transplant, they thought feelings went with it. So they're like, oh my gosh, is that person gonna love another person now because they have a new heart? Does that make sense? Because back then they thought the heart was part of love, right? Because every time we go love, we're always like, heart, love. But they now know that it all deals with what's in your brain. Do they have brain transplants?
Mm-hmm.
Nope, no brain transplants. That would just make you a
Albert Einstein.
total different human. And your brain is connected to your spine and all your different things that go along. All right, so pros and cons of medical technology.
Make it easier to diagnose injuries, improve quality of life, and saves lives.
Negative impacts are x-rays. Too many x-rays could cause cancer. They're expensive and overpopulation.
All right, easier to diagnose, improves quality. All right, good job, girls.
All right, so thank goodness for medical technology. The only problem now is medical technology is so expensive. All right, what environmental technology? Did you guys not finish? You want to see the rat again?
No.
Remember, if you guys want to know more about it, you just Google it and it'll tell you all kinds of things. Rat growing ear for patient, and it'll tell you the whole story about it. All right, environmental technology.
Who has it?
It'll be fully solved tomorrow.
Go ahead.
Environmental technology is the study of process to control waste, soil erosion, reducing sediment and waterways, conserving water and improving water quality. Study to help our environment.
All right, so you guys can just write that. Could you imagine how we control our waste? So could you imagine life without toilets? That would be awful, having to go outside every time. And then you gotta bury the stuff when it's, when you're done, when you go, you gotta bury it. So the Black Plague happened because they weren't disposing of their garbage, and then mice got in there, and then like half the population died because they weren't controlling their waste properly. So that stuff is toxic, like, we need to get all that stuff away. All right, examples of environmental technology.
EV, hybrid vehicles, conservation, waste management, and recycling.
I think plumbing has to be the best invention ever. And then how we get rid of our garbage. It's nice somebody just picks it up. And recycling, is it free to recycle?
No.
No, you actually gotta pay for them to recycle your stuff. Or it comes out of your taxes.
I have a small feeling that they're not actually recycling it and they're taking your money.
Well, some Sometimes they do just throw it in the garbage, I've seen it. Alright, environmental.
Some positive impacts are saves natural resources, improves water and air quality, safer, reduces chances of disease. And then some of the negatives are disposal of garbage is more complicated and time consuming. And then the second one is reliability of electric cars. And the third one is not as convenient. And the fourth one is cost money to some.
Yeah, it's a lot of work having to recycle all these different things. Alright, good job, you guys.
Alright, so we're learning more about environmental technology, the good and the bad, so it helps us, proves everything for us, but then sometimes the cars don't work, sometimes it costs money, it's just a pain. So, for every good, there's a bad. Okay, you guys have that?
No.
A lot of writing. I think we're probably going to have our quiz tomorrow, because I think we're going to run out of time. We have 20 more minutes to lunch. 20 minutes to lunch. Almost there. Almost there. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Leo, you had manufacturing technology, right? All right. Here we go, Leo. You guys, just an FYI, there's two production technologies. It's divided into manufacturing and construction, so make sure you don't get them mixed up, all right? So look at your definition, and manufacturing is going to be...
Manufacturing of physical goods on an assembly line.
Good, so write that down. If something's manufactured, it's usually done on an assembly line and robots are doing it. Like cars are manufactured, your clothing is manufactured, unless your grandma knitted it. So your shoes are manufactured, your cereal is manufactured. Anything that's done on an assembly line is manufactured. Alright, examples of manufactured things.
Changes natural or synthetic materials into unstable products. And then examples are clothing, vehicles, food, and phones.
Good. Alright, so those are examples of things that are manufactured. So on the quiz tomorrow, it's going to ask you what the difference between manufactured and construction is. So if it says houses and roads are manufactured, is that true or false? False. False, that's construction. Yeah, so I'll ask you questions like that. All right, Leo, what are some pros and cons of manufacturing?
Some pros of manufacturing new products help to make our life easier, increase leisure time, and affordable. Some negative impacts are many industries use materials that can harm the environment, job loss, and laziness.
For sure. All right, good job, Leo.
Thank you, Leo. Okay, so manufacturing, now that we can mass produce things, it makes life a lot easier. We can put food in the microwave and find something really quick. We don't have to go out there and kill the chicken and pluck the feathers and grill it up on a big pot over a fire. We have nice stoves, we have refrigerators, life is a lot easier. However, the negative impacts is all these big factories have pollution that comes out of them. Robots are doing the jobs, and then people no longer have to work as hard. So, you know, we have a little bit of laziness in there. Uh-huh. Nope. All right, so that's the pros and the cons of manufacturing, done on an assembly line. Make sure you guys know what manufacturing is. So some of this is increasing your vocabulary, so you sound smart. What is leisure time? Yeah, free time. Yep, sitting on the couch, free time, leisure time. Back then, people worked all day, And then they went home and they had to work some more, so they got no leisure time. There was no time to just sit and watch TV. Because mostly there wasn't TV back then. Could you imagine life 200 years ago?
No.
No cell phones, no TVs, no cars. You had to get in a horse and a buggy. That was only 200 years ago. Yeah, I say only because how long has this planet been in existence? Yeah, I don't know, but it's a lot longer than 200 years. Okay, so next, construction. Who had construction?
All right, things are constructed.
Construction of structures on a job site.
Good. So manufacturing is done indoors, construction is done outdoors. We've all been through construction zones, with the red cones. All right, examples.
Technology builds structures that support loads and protect us from the environment. Examples are houses, bridges, roads, and schools.
Okay. Don't you wonder why there's still dirt roads? Why do people still have dirt roads? Yes, they're very expensive. Yeah, nobody wants to pay for them. So if you live on a dirt road, you guys would have to, your parents, their taxes would have to be raised, and they would have to pay for that road, which is a lot of money. Yeah.
Isn't that why cities have the carpool lane, because if they're driving in a carpool lane, they have to pay every once in a while, there's a little something they have to pay. But if they're in the carpool lane, they don't have that.
Well, they can get fined if they're in the carpool lane and they don't have more than one person. They can get a ticket for it. But yeah, they have different laws for different places. In Germany, there is a freeway where there's no speed limit. Yes, there's no speed limit. When I went to Germany, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Why are people going so fast? And they're like, because there's no speed limit. You can go 200 miles per hour and you won't get a ticket.
My dad went on the Autobahn.
Yeah.
120.
It was insane how fast people went. All right, pros and cons. Where are we at? Here we go.
Some positive impacts is new products provide shelters, improves roads, and creates jobs.
Negative impacts are noise and debris. I think that's how you say it, right?
Yeah, debris.
Traffic problems, accidents, and injuries.
All right, good job, girls.
All right, so we've come a long way with construction. Back then, all the Native Americans lived in teepees. They took some skin from animals and lived in a teepee. Then they started making log houses with wood, and then brick houses, and then vinyl houses. And could you imagine being a construction worker 100 years ago, making a skyscraper with no safety equipment?
No.
Hey George, how's it going? Oh, not too bad. Yeah, and they're just chilling, smoking a cigarette, having their lunch. No big deal. There's no harnesses on them. I could not imagine just sitting on this beam having lunch. Or being the photographer way up there taking this picture.
I'd be terrified.
Yeah. I mean, I cannot imagine. How was your day at work, honey? Oh, I don't know. We just lost George. He fell. All right, so be lucky. Be lucky you guys live in a time where we have some type of regulation for safety. All right, so we learned about all that. Are we on the next page now? All right, one more page, you guys. Here we go. Let's see if we can get it done in 12 minutes. Who has materials?
All right.
Okay, the definition is the development of materials with outstanding combinations, mechanical, chemical, and electrical properties that make other advances possible.
You guys wondering how to write all that in a little box? Just say, materials technology is cool stuff with different materials. So basically, I love this deck. We have one on our new house now. It's not made out of wood, so you don't get your splinters on there. We don't have to paint it every year. It's like this composite deck. It's almost like rubberish, but it's a lot better than the wood decks that you have to stain and paint, and you get, yeah, it's just annoying. Think about the materials that you guys have now. Back then, there was no plastics, so everything was glass. Glass milk, glass jars, everything was glass. There was no plastic. Could you imagine not having plastic bottles? Nope. I mean, it's not good for our environment, but it definitely makes it better than glass all the time. All right, examples.
Some of the examples are energy saving, fireproof clothing, mosquito repellent clothes, and advanced building materials.
All right, we've come a long way with materials technology. Think about all the materials. Think about your clothing. I know, like, when I was younger, we didn't have dry fit clothing. So, like, we only had cotton shirts. And if you guys know anything about cotton shirts, when they get wet, they stay wet for a long time. But, like, the sports things now, your dry fit outfits, you get them a little wet and they dry within seconds. So, like, your jerseys now and all your cool materials that you have. Think about your sweater versus sweatshirts. All right, sweaters have a different material. And then if you guys go into like clothing, or not clothing, skin grafts now for burn victims. So people who lose their skin, there's different grafts that they can put on you. Fireproof clothing's pretty cool. All right, so those are examples. Pros and cons. What's up with Oh, I know why I put that on there. Because the Statue of Liberty used to be copper, or she used to be shiny and, you know. Nope. They didn't paint her blue over time. It erodes. It turns into like, it's sort of like rust, but it's a bluish rust, kind of. All right, so go ahead. What's positives?
Positive is that you can reuse recycled materials to help the environment, save lives, energy saving, and cheaper for builders and consumers. Some of the negative impacts are you don't know if the materials, like how they will behave over time. It's more expensive, and there's some safety concerns.
Good, just like the Statue of Liberty, they made this beautiful copper shiny woman here representing freedom, and then she turned turquoise. So over time, she turned turquoise. And then these cool things that are like, so safety boxes, when plane crashes, they have the safety box. That's like, why don't they make the whole thing out of that? I don't know, that's interesting. All right, good job, girls.
All right, so we learned about materials technology. Now we are on to transportation.
We're supposed to have flying cars by now.
It provides a way to be moved from one spot to another. Examples: airplane, rockets, and space shuttles, trains, subways, automobile, bicycles, hoverboards, e-bikes.
All right, so we've come a long way with transportation, that's for sure. We have flying cars, we just don't have the structure to support it. Could you imagine if all of your parents, if we all just started flying with our cars? There's like no stoplights in the air, we'd all run into each other.
Or they can make like an air highway. That's what I'm saying.
They could, but someone has to invent it. They already have a hard enough time controlling planes. I thought hoverboards were supposed to be like hovering in the air. We got gypped. They should have never called it a hoverboard. I know, that's what I said. Yeah, ground board. An elevator and an escalator. Those are all ways to transport. Yep, you guys got 20 points. All right, pros and cons.
Positive impacts of driving long distance faster, moving jobs far on the road, and fast use of lights. Negative impacts are accidents, pollution, and sickness, cost of living,
Malfunctions. You don't want to be in a plane when it malfunctions, do you? All right, so positive and negatives of transportation technology. Good job, boys. All right, what did you guys have? Nanotechnology?
Technology over there.
Hold on.
Oh, I don't want it. I will want it, but not today. All right, 2 more. I think we can get this done if we're fast. All right, Jason, Bryce, did you guys have nanotechnology?
Yes.
All right. We're going to skip that one. All right, we're going to go to the very bottom, you guys, and we're going to do nanotechnology.
Manipulating materials on an atomic or molecular level. Some examples are nanobot, sensors, molecular manufacturing.
Yeah, good. All right, so you just think of Big Hero 6, or Hero 6, what was it called? Big Hero 6?
Yeah.
Remember when they had little nanobots?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then sensors, they think about, so like we have a sensor in my dog, so if she gets lost, we can follow her. So they put little sensors. Could you imagine if you guys were born and everyone put sensors in your shoulder so we can track you wherever you go?
I would be. Y'all don't need to know. You're gonna get a new shoulder from the rat.
Yeah, but what if it could sense like diseases and like blood sugar?
Y'all don't know, but like not track the location.
You guys are all tracked right now with your cell phones.
No, true. Yeah, you just leave your cell phone at home and go somewhere.
I know, but do you guys go anywhere without your phones?
No.
Yeah.
My husband can track me with our car. We can, I track all my kids with their phones. All right, pros and cons. Make sure you guys are doing the last one.
Some pros are efficient, saves lives, continuously sense and adjust medical treatment. Some cons is impede privacy, side effects, rely on it too much.
All right, good job.
All right, so we have all of those done except for one. We're going to do that in just a second as soon as you guys get done writing. If you missed anything, you could do it during advisory today. If you missed any blank, make sure you don't leave anything blank. Oh, you don't have advisory, then I guess it's homework. All right, so if you didn't finish anything, you can do it for homework, or if you have downtime in another class, you can do it real quick. Do you guys ever have free time in other classes? No? You guys have no free time in other classes?
No.
Oh, do you have free time at home?
No.
No, we're doing energy and power right now. All right, energy and power. Here we go. Energy and power, last one. Last one. All right, energy, write this down, is the ability or capacity to do work. That's it, energy. You guys all have energy, don't you?
No.
Haven't you ever said you have too much energy?
Yeah.
No?
Isn't this what we're going to be?
All right, so energy is the ability to do work. We can harness energy and make cool stuff out of energy, such as gasoline, steam. So we have mechanical energy, we have chemical energy, thermal energy. We have wind-powered energy. We have all of this energy that we make cool stuff out of. All right, so pick 3 energies that you like. Write those down. Either one. It doesn't matter. Just know that energy is the ability to do work. That'll be on the quiz tomorrow. Yep, you get to use these notes on your quiz, so do not lose them at home. Do not forget them at home. Keep them in your folder and don't forget them. I will be grading them tomorrow, so I'll be calling you up and you'll give me your little worksheet. I'll grade it and I'll give it back to you for the quiz. All right, pros and cons. There we go. Positive. It provides us warmth, motion, electricity. However, it overuses our resources, it costs money, and it might create problems. All right, almost done. You guys get out of here in 4 minutes. I will let you out in 2 minutes.